Yeah, of course, that's where I pause it. Good Lord. What's up, beautiful, wonderful, lovely people of the internet? Mark here. And today we're getting out of our element. I like to do that every once in a while. You know, as many of you know, in addition to making these reaction and analysis videos, I myself am a vocalist in 3 metal bands, Kardashev, Never Breath, Viremia. And I'm a vocal coach as well, specializing in harsh vocals. And sometimes when you listen to nonstop heavy music, you need something fresh, you need something new. And we've got a lot of Powerwolf, well, we've got a handful, I would say, a handful. We've got a handful of Powerwolf fans in our Patreon Discord. And this song was mentioned, and I said, you know what? Well, really, my business partner, Alex, he said, you know what, Mark, you're doing this song. And I said, yes, sir. So, you know, I know how to work as directed, right? So we're going to take this song. We're going to break it down. Now, one thing I want to emphasize here is that this song is not what I do, right? So this is going to be a lot less like critique, which is what I do on like the harsh vocal. You know, I like what I do is like this stuff. Oh yeah, like that's my realm, right? That's what I do. So like these, I'm not familiar with the band, but like these high power belts with like all the super grit on top of them, you know, not as much my realm. So this is going to be kind of fun for all of us. It's going to be a lot more observational, but if you enjoy it, like, share, and subscribe. We just broke 100K and I appreciate all of you for that. Check us out on Patreon. That's enough of that talking. Let's get to the video. Here we go. Oh. All right, so I'm going to pause it right there. Just before, or I guess technically I'm just after the chorus. But so really cool stuff so far, right? We've got a little bit of grit on top of a voice that right now is exhibiting a lot of strong understanding of fundamentals, right? This sounds to me like he's predominantly right around his speaking range. He was reaching up a little bit here and there, very, very beautifully so, super relaxed, right? But a lot of times when people are, let me get the cursor off the screen. I'm sorry, everybody. When a lot of people are trying to are trying to figure out like, well, how can I sing with a better tone? How can I sing with a cleaner, more full tone? Right? It's just a matter of understanding how the 3 fundamental aspects of our voice work, right? And those fundamental aspects are our breath support, right? Our phonation, which is speech sounds, and our resonance, right? So a lot of times you'll have people and they'll wonder why their voice sounds really dead, right? Sounds dull, like old guitar strings, like, you know, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. They're like, I'm on pitch, you know, I'm not straining. Why does this sound kind of dull? Well, a lot of the times what happens is either the breath support or the resonance space isn't doing what it should. So one thing I like to do is I like to speak and sing into the front of my face. And you can kind of hear the difference if I was to hum, right? Right there. And if I sing just like a silly little, you know, whatever, hey, happy birthday to you, hey, like that. Now I'm getting a little bit more strength. Now I'm getting a little bit more roundedness and tone. Now, I don't know this melody, of course, so I can't really sing what he's singing. But he's got a lot of this, like almost like a little bit of like bravado, right? He's got a little bit of theater in his voice. Hey, like that. And one thing I like is that he's playing with timbre, right? So he's brightening up. And at the end, right before the chorus, he kind of got a little bit more space in his voice. Let's go back and let's hear some of it again so I can kind of find more concrete examples. But he's playing around with like kind of a neutral tone, hey, a wide, bright tone, ah, and then a sort of like weighty, dark, hey, ha, like these different spaces. Let's go ahead and check it out.
When light is gone, for there's a phantom lost to wake. They wanna make you bend and scream.
Scream.
They wanna take your hand and lead you in the light of Venus, girl. Come let them take you for a ride. Forget the load across the night and let your carnal lost prevail tonight. Whoa, demons come at night and they bring the end. Whoa, demons are a girl's best friend. Demons come alive and they take command. Demons are a girl's best friend. Beware the fire.
Yeah, so you can hear kind of what I'm talking about here. So he's opening up on those brighter vowels, especially when he's reaching higher. And one thing you probably notice now, of course, there's mixing, there's mastering, there's production on his voice with anything, but I'm willing to bet he would sound very similar and just as controlled raw takes, right? And the reason I'm pointing that out is because notice how when he's reaching for higher spaces, well, I shouldn't say reaching, when he's moving into higher spaces in his voice, when he's accessing, more of that headspace, you don't hear him squeezing his throat at all. And this is kind of what I'm leaning towards, right? When I'm saying like all of these systems are working together, breath support, resonance, and phonation, kind of in the center of that, I guess you could say, would be being very relaxed, right? Really, especially when we're singing clean, and even when we're putting on light amounts of grit, which is what he's doing as well, we don't have to squeeze our neck muscles really at all. It's a matter of understanding the balance, right? So when I'm down here, ha right there, ha right there, ha right there, oh right there, right? Those spaces. Granted, I didn't cross like a huge space in my range there, but going across these spaces doesn't require a lot of bearing down in the throat. Now, you may have to, get kind of belty a little while, and he may do some of that soon here. We'll see. When that happens and we need to access more power, we want to access downward, right? We hear people call it the dump. We hear people call it, all these like feeling like you're taking a poop, right? And it's very similar. It's very similar, right? Like if we're going to, oh yeah, right? There's no need for me to, oh yeah, right? I'm expanding my ribs and my torso when I breathe in. No overexpansion. This is a result of breathing in. I'm breathing down into my body. And then when I'm accessing that power, I'm engaging the core and pushing downwards. It feels like I'm pushing downwards, right? But our diaphragm is going to be raising as well. And you can kind of see this. Like if you just take a breath in, I'll have to stand on my tiptoes here. But if you take a breath in and then just push in on your stomach, I look super silly doing that. And if you did it at home, you do too. But notice how when I push in, right, my voice got louder, got more full, and it sounded, it sounded goofy as hell, right? But it sounded like it was increasing in volume and power. But I didn't have to do any of this, right? And you can prove to your body that you can do that. Hey, right? So when we're accessing our abdominal muscles, when we're using our abdominal muscles to put pressure on the abdominal cavity, diaphragm raises, squeezes the lungs a little bit, makes a little air compression in the lungs. You should never feel like you've got a lot of pressure underneath your vocal folds. Sometimes we need mild amounts of it, but it should never feel like you're like actively squeezing that air back. And then that sound, that air releases kind of just from that pressure alone. So you're not breathing out the voice, you're releasing the voice, and the air pressure is doing the work. Anyway, I just talked a lot. Let's go back and let's listen to some more.
Demons come at night and they bring the end. Demons are a girl's best friend. Demons come alive and they take command. Demons are a girl's best friend. Beware the fire. Beware the fire in their eyes.
this is a family show, and I apologize for where it seems like this video is going. Just kidding, I don't apologize anymore. I don't apologize at all. Let's go.
Come resurrect him to the sky and wave all innocence goodbye and let desire take command tonight.
Yeah, of course, that's where I pause it. Good Lord. This is this is really cool though. So this is kind of what I was talking about, right? So he's got, it seems like in this second section, he's increased his grit. Hey, right there. Like a little bit of that going on. His is much softer and much more reserved. 90% of the time when I'm making distortion, it's like, so I'm used to having a lot of it. But he's got a light level of distortion, and that's creating like that sort of raspy, strong tone. Now he adds a little bit more weight to his voice. Right there. The distortion turns off. Hey, and it opens up, right? Take a listen and enjoy the show, I suppose.
And wave all innocence goodbye and let desire take command tonight.
See? Cool.
Demons come at night and they bring the end. Demons are a girl's best friend. Demons come alive and they take command. Demons are a girl's best friend.
All right, I want to pause it there. That's where I'm going to pause it. I also just wanted to say I love how this is just a minor thing. It's just an observation, but I love the chorus that we're hearing. Right? You know, he recorded multiple layers of vocals to create this nice chorus. Yeah, I'm no expert when it comes to like audio production, but to me, to my ear, it sounds like actually tracked vocals, not like a chorus created with a vocoder or something, which people do. You create a chorus with a vocoder, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I've done it. I've done the normal chorus thing too. It's all good, man. But I just love how they're adding that to the chorus because his voice is full all throughout. His voice is full and controlled and powerful all the way throughout, right? And then we give it that extra bit of oomph during the chorus. Really neat. And I love the guitars kind of dum 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 dum, adding anticipation. It's really cool stuff. It's like on the surface, the song seems pretty straightforward and simple, but the more that you listen to it, the more you hear a lot of different things going on. And that's really cool stuff. Here we go.
When you sleep is haunted in the night, girl, don't you dare to seek for candlelight, 'cause in the dark your demons come as carnal dynamite.
That was cool. That was really neat. So that almost had like a monster mash, right? Type of a, so that was clearly like theatrical and fun. And it was a really cool, like sort of spooky, almost like retro Halloween-y vibe, which is great since Halloween was yesterday. Yesterday, at the time of the recording of this video, there were two things that he was doing that were really cool. One, he was doing an exaggerated vibrato to give it that spooky vibe, right? Demons come tonight, night. He might have even been fluttering the abdominals a little bit. Hi. No. Well, anyways, it was a sort of exaggerated vibrato for the sake of building that spooky character, which was really cool. I loved that. It sounded like very, very like kind of old school, like Halloween television programs and cartoons. And then he also had a little bit of a his soft palate sounded like it was a little dropped. Oh, the monster mash, right? Giving that tone right there. Let's listen to that again, because that was really cool. It kind of came out of left field, but I liked it.
Don't you dare to seek for candlelight, 'cause in the dark your demons come as carnal Demons of the night, come and take her. Demons are a girl's best friend. Demons read their thoughts, come and make them stay. Demons are a girl's best friend.
Oh, there's a lot of video left. What the heck? Ooh, spooky. That was a sick video. That was a lot of fun to watch. There was a lot of production value in that video, and I really liked it. So, yeah, Powerwolf. Powerwolf was cool. Powerwolf was fun. That was, I kind of needed a song like that. When we do so much heavy music, sometimes I need something a little bit more melodic. And that was really awesome. Great voice on this guy. Really strong, really powerful. And you could hear, okay, so kind of at the end of the song, right? You could hear him getting into that belt, right? Belting out those high notes. And yet there was no strain in the neck. You could hear that he was not creating these higher notes by forcefully squeezing his vocal folds together to create that tight vibration that we need, that elongated, thin vocal fold that we get on higher notes, right? He wasn't smashing them together. He was relaxing and letting his voice lift up, access resonance space, and create those notes very easily. Again, this song's a little bit out of my element, not what I do and certainly not what I teach, but a fun discovery nonetheless. So if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're interested in more gurgly content, check out my other videos. Check us out on Discord. Check us out on Patreon. And as always, many thanks, much love. I'm out.